to our departmental report with Director Page.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You should have on a Tuesday. We would have something else,
Okay.
but it's difficult with staffing because we do it ourselves. We were trying to find something free for hourly folks, and it's just staffing wise, it's just almost impossible with anything we have to do now.
Great.
So this was a good alternative. The parents were pleased.
Great.
So it went well.
It's such a nice time of year. You would want people to really feel like they have to leave town, that they can
Right.
stay and enjoy, but still have something for their kids to do.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're working on our IOP beach truck. We have to make that happen in July. A real one, in person. And I think we'll be able to do that. I think there will be some excited people because we typically have 300, 350 to participate in that. And now we do not have to get special permission to have events of that size. Our programs and classes, they all seem to be going well. The attendance is good. Some of our classes we do have to limit because of the size of the room and the guidelines we continue to follow with COVID. And if you have any specific questions about any classes, I'll be glad to answer them. But I don't think there are any changes since last month. We do have a lot going on. Our voter safety workshop that we had last Saturday went very well. It filled very quickly. So we're working on another date to have another class. And we're waiting for them to tell us when they're available. So just be looking. That should be coming up very shortly. Our environmental series, which every month I'm coming and going, we're trying. Well, we finally have Julie Cliff. She's a retired marine science teacher from Wando High School. So she's working with us on a series. Some of the classes will be in-house, some will be on site. So we're looking for sites to do this. That depends on what the topic's going to be. So we're really excited. She's excited about this. So Susan, I'm making your dreams come true.
Yes, I will. Thank you.
You're
So
very
glad to
welcome.
see that. She sounds like a great person.
Right. Under community specialist, just to let you know, Holly turned in her resignation. She's going to, I know,
She's been with us.
I think 11 years. So there's a funny story. Holly put an application and she called every day, at least once a day. And I thought it was curious to give the girl a job. Just get her to stop calling. But Holly's a spark plug, and we're certainly going to miss her. She did a great job at the front desk. But she's going to hand to work for them. She's excited about the move. So we wish her well. We'll probably try to do something Thursday at the rec center just to wish her well and try to keep her from going. But I think her mind's made up. It's the hours are a little bit better and she'll be closer. So,
Thank you for being with us
absolutely.
and wish her well.
I would. Our parks and grounds maintenance, y'all, it's been crazy. It's growing season.
Maybe going nonstop.
It's baseball, it's softball, it's soccer. Chris is a one-man show, but he has an assistant, that part-time person that helps him, but they're crazy busy. So, but they're doing a good job, and I think the grounds look pretty good. We've got a couple of areas that need a little bit of attention, but we'll get there. Special events, our teenagers are going well. Every month, it seems like we're getting more and more. We're having their meetings in the gymnasium because of the size. We're still doing the box lunch. They're not bringing food yet. But we had 36 to attend April, which was last Wednesday. So in fact, I got an email thanking us for doing it. They're really excited to be out and being together.
As far as the teenagers, do you have an idea of what percentage of that have their shots or vaccinations? Or is there any way still that we might facilitate?
Well, we've asked them if they need assistance to let us know. We'll help them do that. Our seniors are pretty active and pretty alert. So I didn't specifically ask how many had.
Yeah. Right, but yeah.
Right.
I just had a second.
But we did. We are having difficulty getting scheduled. We would help them, and we haven't had that problem. or no one has requested that. And I know they would, if they needed help, they call us if they need something else. So, I think that would be a given.
And Delta seems to be, really doing great service over there, so
Right.
anybody's listening, you can get your shots at Delta.
Yeah, Joe is great. And I mean, it didn't even in this report, but I've been talking to Joe about our wellness here in September, and told him he's going to have to tell me what vaccines we're going to have to offer in September, because I think it's, maybe different. It may be a COVID booster. It may be the regular. I don't. Who knows what we're going to need to provide in September with that. So I've been working with him so he's on the calendar, and he knows that we're going to need to do some research to
That's great.
see what vaccines we're going to need to provide in September. Our drive-in movie went well. Could there have been more cars? There could have, but we had marked off 100, a little over 100 spaces, because we spaced between to make sure that we could promote social distancing, and we had over 40 cars. So it was well attended. It was good. I wish there had been more, but I think everybody that went enjoyed it. Our upcoming events, actually, it's not upcoming anymore, but we had our Easter egg drop last weekend. You guys, that was so much fun. It was fun working with fire and the police department. Everybody loved it. Just people walking on the street, they were waving and cheering. And I did get some emails about how excited their children were when they went outside and there was a bag of candy and eggs and goodies. And we would put a sign in everybody's yard that signed up, say you've been egged. So, I think that was a good alternative to our normal Easter egg hunt.
Yeah, I think this is an example of where an adaptation provided a special COVID experience that
Right,
we remembered well in the
Right.
future. And certainly the kids, to have the Easter egg, to have the Easter bunny come visit in person.
right.
It's just a fantastic adaptation, and one of the things I think you guys have done really well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, in Wild Dunes, we did make some extra bags just in case. While in Wild Dunes, there were some children that were on the street, so we gave them a bag too. So they were visiting, and so I think we made their day too. So that was good. Our yard sale is this coming weekend. We've limited the number of vendors so we can once again socially. I'll be so glad when we don't have to say that word anymore. I'm so tired of it, but so that we can social distance, and so we look forward to that. Day in the park is not new. It's just revised a bit. It used to be music in the park, so we're going to have music in the park. We're going to have a little bit later than the day because our seniors really enjoy the music in the park, and then we're going to have a movie on the multi-purpose field. So we're going to call it Day Park. And I'm thinking maybe in the future we'll make this day a day in the park, and maybe something different. Just mix it up every year. They have something different for events. That'll be coming up in the first weekend in May. Camp Summershine. Oh my goodness. We're doing the lottery again this year. Our challenge has been the registration. They are registering online the cognito form that Roz was gracious enough to put together for us and put up there. But the work to get it put into RecTrack is just very time consuming. So hopefully this is my plea to you to help us get the RecTrack software in the budget this year so that we can do online registration and everything will talk to each other, and I'll make it a lot easier for staff.
And we're on target for that. That's in the budget
Yeah,
already, right?
it is. I'm just putting a little plug in.
Yeah. I don't think there's anybody that's challenging it. And then once the fiscal year starts, then we'll
July.
immediately move forward with that. Great.
I will be in the city administrator's office on July 1 with the PO request. Sign it, woman. But when this report was written, there were over 30 families that registered. Last time I counted, there were over 60. So we'll see how that goes.
Residents,
Yes,
because you kind of put the word out that we're gonna fill up with residents since it's a smaller pool, a smaller number of spots.
right. We're only gonna open it up to non-residents if there's spaces available. So today we'll be running, we've got quite a few in this weekend, so we've got to get those in, or we'll do the lottery today. Notify all those that have been selected. They will be given till April 23rd or so to pay. And then, those that don't pay will go to the next on the lottery until we get the king full.
Can I still register in person?
Yes. Yes. We've actually told people have told us they miss doing it in person. They love the socialization.
There was a group that
Right.
enjoyed the overnight,
Right.
being overnight.
Right. Yeah, it was almost we tried to break the record.
Right.
Yeah, it was,
Challenge.
yeah, it was almost that. Let me see how long I can stay up.
I mean, I guess they could still replicate that on their own. They.
I think they were trying to develop the Guinness World Record. I don't know.
Reminds me of camping out for concert tickets back when I was. a teenager.
Exactly. So, and then next is our sand sculpting, which will be June the 5th. The registration form will be online shortly. And, so we look forward to that too. Get back on the beach. We didn't have it last year, so I think we'll have a lot of participation. And our parks and facilities, continues to do a good job following the schedule that we revised to, or the protocols to disinfect all the equipment and the rooms. And, I think a lot of them might. But as far as the classes, we pretty much have all the classes back, just maybe reduced numbers.
All right, moving on to old business. We've covered, I think, with these items, which are a discussion of outlook for classes and activities in the summer. Was there anything else that we should add in that we haven't already touched?
No, of unless you have some questions.
And B was discussion of adjustments and impacts related to COVID on recreation programs. I think already covered. And moving on to new business, discussion of organized outdoor beach recreation to be put on the agenda. It just seems like a moment, even though we're getting past COVID. Even with that, was wondering what we could talk about the class, or if there's other things that maybe come to mind for you that people have asked about. What we could do to make that happen, or what are the challenges that we face and try to do some of those things.
Okay. It is a challenge because of attendance, getting the fees, things of that nature. We have to require people to pay ahead of time. But you're going to have wall cups, so there would be some control there. How do we control that? How do we get the class? I haven't had an opportunity to talk with the instructors. I saw this on Friday, right?
Conversation.
We have talked about this before. We talked to some of our yoga instructors before about doing on the beach, and I think they would if we told them we had to, but I'm not sure that they want to. We're doing yoga outside now, which we have kind of off and on, even before COVID. If it was nice weather, they would rather be outside. But then it gets so hot. And then of course, your outside classes, if you schedule it a continuous class, then you're looking at the weather. You have to depend on what the weather is.
Right.
And then have an alternative location. And in fact, that doesn't work. But I'm not saying we won't look at it. I will get with the instructors, see if anybody's interested in doing it on the beach. I know there's some independent people that do it on the beach. They even do it on ours and just ask for donations, but I don't know. There would be some challenges because it's so much easier to do programming on campus. That way we can control it. We can get the fees to pay the instructors. So there would have to be some staffing to go off site to monitor those programmings, but we'll ask.
Do you think that with going to online registration, that might help? With if people are able to register in advance, or if you're registering in advance, is there also a component where you can go ahead and pay?
Yes, there will be. Yes,
So maybe that will help facilitate.
that would help tremendously. The problem would be the walk-ins, those folks that are visiting, which we would want them to come. So we would have to work, and don't think we can. We can work out something. Right, but that's probably not gonna happen unless there's some signage to let them know, and I don't think we want to do that. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. But like I said, I just saw that on Friday, and I was not in on the beach activities boat this weekend.
Yeah, like I said, that was just supposed to be a conversation.
Absolutely.
I know
Sure.
through the years it's come up before.
Right,
Maybe we're in a better position with online registration to make it
right,
a smoother operation.
Right.
And less. I mean, I don't know if you could require that people sign up online just to make sure that you don't have to have an extra person there to take cash or
right.
that kind of thing. But obviously, there's some demand, or we wouldn't have a lot of ad hoc instructors going out there.
Right.
And which Douglas, I know, deals with people who are doing business on the beach without permission, essentially.
And I don't know that this would prevent that. And then, I don't think that the folks that are doing it now would want to be a part of our programming either.
Mhm.
I don't know that.
Right.
But, just give me a little bit of time and let me look at it
Sure.
and
Yeah.
see if we can figure out the logistics.
Are there any other aside from yoga, and then we're discussing this coastal science class where I would expect they would be doing some field trips to the beach. Are there any other things that come up where you get requests for beach activities?
I do not. Well, surfing, why not?
Surfing.
But no, I do not.
Okay.
So,
And beach volleyball, we do have Jammer has a league for
Right.
juniors and for, I guess adults as well. So they're kind of covering that. I know that comes up for discussion or has in the past.
it has in the past, it hasn't recently, and I think it's because Laurie and Craig are doing an awesome job
They
at the Windjammer. They have facilities to do it. We had looked at the possibility of building a sand volleyball court at the rec center. I don't know exactly where we would have put it because we really don't have that much property that we don't use on a regular basis. But it was quite substantial to do it properly.
Mhm.
So, but I haven't had that request in a long time. We-
Has anybody ever asked about spike ball? That
I have not.
that's like a new game that it's pretty portable and it seems like it's popular out on the beach, but you can do it. I think they like call it. It's popular on college campus.
Well, if you go to the beach, bocce ball's hot, so there are games that are beach worthy and games that are not as beach worthy, I guess. But we offer 2 very full volleyball camps during the summer.
Right.
And we do Thursday night volleyball as well. And that's mostly your middle school and high school girls.
And there is some night that Laura and Craig are also involved with that.
Yes,
Still.
yes.
So there's kind of a nice natural
Absolutely.
crossover between the Windjammer, what's going on with Windjammer and what's going on indoors.
Absolutely.
That's pretty
Yes.
Yeah, this seemed like a moment where outdoors works for most people and everybody feels comfortable with. And, if we do have any issues down the road that, and we have a natural facility. I think I thought we could look at how we might use it. And, well, thank you for, like I said, all the adaptations that have been made, a lot of creativity. And as I had mentioned to Ron and Desiree, I feel like for right now, that's enough on our plate to make sure that we're handling COVID gracefully. We don't need to be getting overly ambitious and things like that.
Appreciate that, because summer camp's coming up and that really
And-
is gonna
and
take a
summer
lot of
camp.
time and I would tell you, one of our biggest challenges are finding summer camp counselors. No one wants to work. It's incredible.
Really.
So it may be that we have to go into us and make us part of that staffing. It just doesn't look promising for us. So we're still working on that, but, okay.
Well, I wonder too, if you put it out in our, if you try to get it out in our island social media, if there might be some people who feel that maybe they don't need to work for the pay, but if they felt like island